Hey, and
Hi
welcome
guys.
to our wellness seminar. We have done a version which was in person before, but we thought we would be able to reach more of you guys if we put this online on the school. So enjoy this course and make sure if you guys have any questions, reach out into our general discussion or to us as coaches in private messages if you feel like it needs to be discussed in private, and we shall be always there to help out. As you're already in the school group, you probably already know a little bit about us, but we are going to tell you a little bit more in a nutshell. Okay. So this is me, Vic. Hi, nice to meet you. I am and have been a female transformation coach for over 13 years now. I am a mum of a little boy who's actually now 5 years old called Noah. I was a bodybuilder. That's how I got into fitness. I guess I did get into fitness in all the wrong ways. I was a cardio bunny. I wanted stick arms. I did all the diet mistakes that we now train everyone not to do. And then I actually decided to educate myself. And once I did so, I kind of got hooked on bodybuilding competitions and did a few. I first competed in bikini, and then I realized that I suit figure a lot better. So finally, I stopped putting myself into a box and grown. And that's when I have achieved my final form, as I like to refer to myself as, a little bit like a Pokemon. And that's when I have finally achieved my happy body, not when I was on stage, but when I finally stopped shrinking myself and gone ahead and grown muscle. And since then, I haven't competed for about 4 years now. This is 2026 today. I've done my last show after I had Noah, so you can see me holding him backstage right there. That was a just over a year after I've had him, and that was my best condition and like shape I've ever achieved. So I guess I am prime example of the fact that you can get to a better shape post pregnancy, and basically having a baby doesn't mean that your life and your body is over and destroyed. And in the corner here, you can also see that I've done a shoot in the same outfit pregnant, and then the other one afterwards is 8 weeks after I had a baby. So I would like to say I've kind of had it nailed, pre postpartum, all that stuff. Currently I am not training nowhere near as much as I had done. I'm not going to bodybuild again. My priority is my family and my business, and helping women like you to achieve the same goals so that you don't have to forever diet. You don't have to live on ridiculous calories. You don't have to feel like training or dieting is a chore that's going to basically rule your life forever. I am here to teach you that there is a way. And I actually haven't tracked my calories for over 4 years now. I haven't dieted. I've just been training, obviously with the knowledge that we're about to pass on to you. I would say training to be happy, training to be healthy. So that's me. Let's go on to the next slide where we introduce you to Ella.
So I'm Ella, if you don't know me. And where do I begin? So I got into fitness in general, because of anorexia, which developed in my teens. Um, so it was in my anorexia recovery that I was looking for an approach that worked for me to get better. The advice I was given through the NHS just didn't sit right with me. I'd always been like a healthy, active person. Um, and basically, I just didn't want to be force fed and told to sit down all the time. I was like, how does that get me healthier? So I ended up finding a personal trainer who was willing to help me in this kind of critical condition. Um, and that was where like everything changed for me, and it made me want to be a personal trainer because he literally saved my life. And it was in that recovery where I just learned how to respect my body, how to fuel my body, um, a love for weightlifting, and not just smashing runs every day to try and be skinny. And then it just really kind of blew up from there. I continued my degree, graduated, but by this point I was just so passionate about exercise, fitness, that I then became a personal trainer. Um, and throughout that period, I was obviously, still working on my own stuff. I'd had an eating disorder, but every year that went by, I kind of learned more. And as Vic said, like I made all the wrong mistakes. I did all the things not to do and learnt the hard way. But yeah, as the years went on, I learnt more. I became more experienced. Eventually, I was a coach. And yeah, before I knew it, I'd kind of fallen into bodybuilding. By this time, I was, really strong, fit, healthy, mentally, physically. And bodybuilding just aligned to me. I was always someone who was competitive. I'd always played competitive team sports. So I kind of missed something, and bodybuilding gave me that. It gave me a focus for my training. It gave me purpose. And I loved the feeling of being stronger and being like, having a muscular build. Um, Bodybuilded for several years. That's actually how me and Vic met and became friends. And my last show was the same as yours, so 4 years ago it must be, which is crazy. But
Yep.
yeah, I did really well. I I was, I achieved way more than I ever thought I would in figure, as you can see in some of these pictures. Like, I ended up doubling my body weight by the end of my bodybuilding experience. Um, but as with everything, it wasn't forever, and I just found that as I turned, I developed as I entered my 30s, really, I kind of changed my values, and I just didn't want to be so extreme all the time. With the nature of bodybuilding is quite extreme. I wanted a bit more rest for my body. I wanted to spend more time outside hiking, which you can see in one of my pictures. Um, so yeah, I don't have a child or a family like Vic as her priority, but like my priorities changed. Equally, I want to spend more time on like my business, my relationships, my friends, my family, my boyfriend. Training is still a huge part of my life, but it's no longer about extremes. I'm just enjoying pushing my body to see what it can do, to see how strong I can be, how fit, um, far more well-rounded than I was as a bodybuilder, far more generally fit. And I'm just having fun with it. So like Vic, I now work with ladies who are looking to learn how to not just improve their fitness and their well-being, but for me, it's helping them achieve body confidence, which is something that I struggled with my whole 20s, even into my early 30s. Leaving bodybuilding itself was a really difficult period for me. And I actually entered like a bit of an identity crisis in that time. So um, in the last 4 years, I've actually learned more and more about this and how it impacts body image. And that's what I'm really passionate about helping people on now, is because if you work with me, you'll understand that body confidence and body image is so much more than actually how we look. Like, it's not just about dieting or building muscle, which I was quite naive to in my 20s, but life is a learning curve. So that is what I help women with now. So that's the intro about us done. In the next section, you're going to be learning all about goal setting, understanding what are healthy and sustainable goals which are aligned to you. So we hope that you enjoy that. Any questions, as always, just comment or message us.